Pythagoras theorem is a mathematical concept that is used to find the length of the sides of your triangle. Pythagoras theorem, it is a mathematical concept that we use to find the length or the size of our triangle. Now, first things first, this concept is only applicable in right-angled triangles. This concept is only applicable in right-angled triangles. So a right-angled triangle, I think you know that by now. It's a triangle that has a 90 degrees, like it has a 90 degrees like that. I think by now you know that there are different types of triangles. You have scalene, you have isosceles triangles, equilateral triangles, and so on. But I'm saying this concept is only applicable in right-angled triangles. Now, what is this concept saying? This concept says, if you want to find, let's say, the value, the length of side C, you are going to say C squared is equals to A squared plus B squared. C is the longest side of your triangle, and A is this side of your triangle, and B is that side of your triangle. So the concept is saying, if you want to find the length of C, take the length A squared, add it to the length B squared. Then you'll get the value of C squared. But remember, we are interested in getting the value of C, not the value of C squared, which means the next thing that follows is you have to take the square root of C squared. And then mathematically, whatever you do on your right, you have to do on your left, and vice versa. Whatever you do on your left, you have to do on your right. So I have inserted the square root sign on my left, which is on the C squared. So it means I have to insert the square root on my right as well, and on my right as well. So taking the square root of C squared, I'm going to get a C, then the square root of A squared, then the square root of A squared plus B squared is still going to be A squared plus B squared. So it means C, to get C, you're going to take the square root of side A squared and the square root of B squared, the sum of the square root of A squared and B squared. Now, it's not like all the time you are going to look for C. It's not like all the time you are going to look for C. Sometimes you can look for the length of A, sometimes you can look for the length of B. And then for you to do that, we are still going to use the same formula. However, you're going to change your formula, or you're going to do what you call making the subject of the formula. So if, let's say, maybe you are looking for A squared, so you are going to make that A squared the subject of the formula. And then to make A squared the subject of the formula, so it means you're going to take everything that side of the equal side, so that on this side, you are only left with what you are interested in, which will be your A squared. Then it means your A squared will be equals to C squared minus B squared. Then the same thing like we did before. We want the value of A. We want the value of A. We don't want the value of A squared. So which means for you to find the value of A, it means you have to take the square root of everything. Take the square root of A squared and take the square root of C squared minus B. Then the square root of A squared is going to give you an A. Then this side is just going to remain the same. And then you do the same thing for finding you'll do the same thing for finding B. Now, let's take an example. Let's do a real example now. Assume we have a triangle like this. We have our 90 degrees here. And then you are told that this side is 10 centimeters. And this side is, you are told that it's 7 centimeters. And then the question is asking you to find the length C. So from what you can see, C is the longest side of your triangle, which means X is C. X is equals to C. So X is the longest side of our triangle. So which means for us to find X, we are going to use C squared is equals to A squared plus B squared. And our C squared in this case, like I said, it is X squared. Then what is the value of our A? The value of our A is 10. So we substitute our A there and then we square it. Then plus, what is the value of our B there? The value of our B is 7. So we substitute it there. Then we get 7 squared. Then we simplify your equation. So we're going to get X squared is equals to 10 squared. 10 squared is 100. 7 squared is 49. Then you continue simplifying your equation. So X squared, then it means it is now equals to 149. Then remember, we are looking for the value of X, not the value of X squared. So that is where now your square root sign comes in. You now have to take the square root of X squared and the square root of 149. So the square root of X squared is going to give us X, and the square root of 149 is going to give us 12.2. So that then means X is equals to 12.2 centimeters. I believe that's not that difficult. So let's take another example. Assume we have a triangle like this. It's still a right angle triangle. And then this time, let's say you are given the value of your C, or the longest side of your triangle is given. So it's 12 centimeters. And then you are also given this side. Let's say it is 9 centimeters. And then the question is asking you to find the length of X. Now, from what I did, X is A. X is your A. So, which means you are looking for A. So to find A, we go back to the same formula. We know that A squared plus B squared is equals to C squared. So you can decide to make A the subject of the formula, or alternatively, you can decide to just take your values and substitute them into your equation and then work it out. So substituting what we have, our A squared is what we are looking for. So it's X squared. Then our B squared is 9 squared. Then our C is 12. So it means we're going to have a 12 squared there. So simplifying this, we get X squared plus 9 squared is 81. And 12 squared is 144. So we are looking for X squared. So it means you have to collect like terms. Take this 81 that side, so that this side you are only left with what you are interested in. You're interested in the X. So collect like terms, 81 and 144. They are like terms because they both don't have variables. So collecting like terms, you are now going to get 144 minus 81. So which then means X squared is equals to 144 minus 81, it gives us 63. Remember, you are looking for the value of x, not the value of x squared. So it means that's where now the square root sign comes in. So you have to square root everything. You have to square root everything. And then we said the square root of x squared is x. Then the square root of 63, it's going to give us 7.93. So that then means your x is equals to 7.93 centimeters. So you do that for all your questions. You do that for all your questions. So let me take the last example. Let me say we have a triangle like this. It's still a right angle triangle. Then let's look for x. This time let's look for b. Let's say here we have 2 centimeters. And then let's say this side we have 5 centimeters. Then, because it's a right angle triangle and we are looking for x, and then we can see that x, from what we just did, x is b. So it means we are going to go back to that formula and solve for b. So the formula says a squared plus b squared is equals to c squared. So now substitute your values. A squared is equals to 2. So it means we have 2 squared plus b squared. Our b squared is x squared. Our b is x. And that's what we are looking for. Then the c, which is the longest side of your triangle, it's a 5. So this is equals to 5 squared. Then simplifying our equation, we now get 2 squared is 4 plus x squared, then 5 squared is equals to 25. Then remember, we are solving for x squared. So it means take everything that side or collect like terms, so that this side, you are only left with what you are interested in, which is the x squared. Then that side, on the other side of the equal sign, you now have 25 minus 4. Then solving that, 25 minus 4 gives us a 21. And that 21 is the value of x squared. But then remember, we are looking for the value of x, not the value of x squared. So then it means you have to insert your square root sign so that you can now solve for x or find the value of your x. Then the square root of x squared is going to give us x, and our x is going to be equals to the square root of 21, and the square root of 21 gives us 4.58. So which then means x is equals to 4.58 centimeters. So your b is equals to 4.58 centimeters. So that's it about the Pythagoras theorem.